Good day, YouTube. It is Saturday. It's March the 10th, 2018. Those are trailer wheels. That is a Rockwell axle set up for a 5-foot trailer. That is a box of parts. That is 60 feet of steel. And over there somewhere, I haven't packed them over, the fenders and so forth. Yes, we are going to build a trailer. I've never actually built a trailer from scratch before. I've modified many. This will be my first scratch-built trailer, and it will be designed to haul that lift. That lift will be semi-permanently installed on the trailer. It's essentially all the trailer will do is haul the lift. So it only needs to be the size of the lift, but you can't make them too narrow or they'll tip over. Yeah. So we got an axle designed for a 5-foot trailer. So we're going to build a 5-foot trailer. I'm going to try to build it on my lift. Why not? These 4 posts, or the 4 pads on my 2-post lift, are level, and I'm not a real fan of working on the ground anymore. So I have set these pads to about 5 foot wide, about 6 feet long, thinking I could set 4 corners of the trailer there. I can get around it to square it up and so forth, and nice to weld it off the ground. I'm going to build it upside down so that I can weld all the spring purchase on, fit the axle and everything, and then somehow figure out how to flip it. Just going to build it, and I'll figure out how to flip it later. Then as we get the trailer done, of course, we'll have to get some mounting tabs for the fenders, and there's lights and everything in the kit. I bought the trailer kit on Amazon, and you can get just about anything you want on Amazon as far as trailer kits, well, as far as anything for that matter. But Rockwell Made in USA axle, good reviews on a Rockwell axle, good bearings. It's a 3,500 pound axle kit, and that I'm probably going to be in the neighborhood of 1,100 pounds, something like that. You don't have to license a trailer here in Oregon, as long as it's not a camp trailer, and if it weighs less than 1,800 pounds with everything you put in it. So I'm under the limit for having to license it, and therefore I don't need a VIN for the trailer. So I'm going to build away. So I'm going to get this started, to lay out some steel, get some stuff cut, and I'll check back with you when I have something to show you. Well, we got some steel cut, got it set up on the lift. I checked all 4 directions with the cheapo level, and it's pretty good. So the lift is pretty level. It's leveler than the floor in this 1947 dairy barn. So I just have the stuff rough fitted. I have it within an 1/8 of an inch of square, but I need to blow it back apart, clean up all the ends, put it back together, and kind of tack the frame in place, I guess. So it shouldn't be too big a deal. I extended these, this being the rear, I extended these out. Remember, I'm building this thing upside down, so I just put the taillights out here. I need to put jacks on the back that will swivel down and crank. Well, swivel that way. Remember, I'm building it upside down. So I wanted to put the lights all the way out on the corners, and I'll mount the light so it just goes past here, just so you could just knock it off if you're... No, I'll actually just bring it in just a little shy. It has a side marker light on it. We'll make it just shy of this, then it doesn't get busted off when I'm parking trailers 1 inch apart. And I'll weld those swivel mounted jacks on, so they'll swivel like this, because this tower going to be tall and wiggly. So playing the coupon game at Harbor Freight, I need 4 of those jacks, and this has a tongue jack. It'll be a V-type tongue. It has a tongue jack, but that isn't going to do much for its stability. So I want a jack on all 4 corners to keep this stable when it's in the air. And I'll use the coupon scheme at Harbor Freight, pick up 1 a day, use 20% off coupon on all 4, and pick up 4 of these over 4 days. Sorry, that's just the way it rolls. I'm just as cheap as they can be. I do need to run to Harbor Freight. I'm going to see what they got for tie downs. I got a parking lot sale here in my town. Tie downs like ratchet straps for ratchet strapping the speakers onto the stand. Ones that either aren't very long or ones that I can cut short so they don't dangle. They don't need to be longer than about 3 feet. And I only have one spare abrasive wheel for the chop saw. So I need to pick those up too. And take a little break and come back. I'll wire brush and grind the ends of all this steel that I have cut. And put it back together, square it up perfect. And weld it. And then we'll cut the cross pieces. We're going to put them from side to side. And what I have for decking this is a sheet, which it's buried out back. I have a sheet of aluminum diamond plate. It's actually 4 feet wide. Trailer's 5. 4 feet wide and 10 feet long. There it is. I buried it back there. I was like, where did it go? No, it's back here. I've got a partial sheet as well. But that diamond plate right there. So I'll cut 6 feet off of that 10-foot long sheet of diamond plate. And that will become the floor. So I want either put the cross members fairly close together, or I'm going to have to put some support on the edges. I'm purposely making the floor short of the edge so that I have this side rail for tying down. So with a floor 6 inches shy of the side, this rail and these rails that will be exposed here will be excellent tie points for strapping this heavy lift down. And I want to do it permanently. I don't know if I'll weld something there or strap it or get turnbuckles, something like that, but just will tie it down and leave her tied down. The idea is that I don't need this trailer for anything else, so it'll be purpose only to haul that lift. So I'm gonna run to Harbor Freight real quick, take a little break, come back, clean these edges up and reassemble and weld up the basic frame here, and then we'll start cutting cross pieces, which I will use 1.5 by 1.5 box tubing for, and then the other stick of 1 by 2 will be the A-frame tongue. There's the tongue coupler. This is the rest of the parts. So you can see it's got springs. These are the U-bolts, stuff for putting the axle together. The perches on the axle are here, so they can be welded on wherever. Springs, the safety cables, the tongue jack, lights, wiring, clearance lights, fenders, then the inner fender piece. All here, I think. Where's the inner fender piece? Hope it's here. So, check back with you shortly. Well, we got the frame, the basic frame kind of welded up there a little bit. And I think before I start putting cross braces in, need to get the suspension mocked up. So I've double stacked the 1 by 2 1/8 inch tubing there where the springs are going to attach. I'm just going to weld everything to it. So I have it square and everything's kind of where I need it, I think. I put a piece of tube steel across the springs. That's just to keep everything kind of upright and square with the world while I weld the shackle perches down, and everything's just kind of loose. So yeah, this all came together real good. It stayed square while I welded it and all of that good stuff. The downside is I forgot to check my welding gas, and I'm running way low, so I'm not sure how much I'll be able to do. I guess I could, one of my YouTuber subscribers chimed in last time I forgot to check my welding gas, and said you can always go back to FluxCore on the weekends. You know, you can't get gas. That's the thing, you got to get it during the weekday. Or I could have got it, I think, before noon today, but I was spaced it. I just didn't look. I thought it was fine, but yeah, I could go back to that shielded wire stuff, but I don't want to. But if I had to, I will. I think I got a roll that came with that welder, and I never did use it. So, it's looking good. I'm going to weld these spring perches down. I'm going to weld this doubled up piece of 1x2 to the frame. I remember working this on the bottom side. I want to get all this done. I should probably fit the tongue next, because I could actually flip this back over and do all of the cross pieces on the other side. Well, I need to weld the bottom, so getting ahead of myself there a little bit. I do want to fit them in now so I can weld the bottom side. Then we flip this thing over and weld the top side. So, you know, if I had a bunch of these to do, I'd probably kick out one a day. But when you're building one from scratch as you go, it's going to take a while. So this one's taking a little while. But not to fear, it's still early in the afternoon, and we're making progress. So I'll check back with you when I got something more to show. So we got the spring perches welded to the trailer frame, and I am basically out of welding gas. Unfortunately, that's too bad. But what do you do? So I can cut and fit and tack weld and things like that, so we'll do as much as we can, and then tomorrow I'll probably bring some shielding gas over to the shop and finish up some welding. So now we got to figure out how to make this tongue. Again, this is the first trailer I've ever built from scratch. Rebuilt a million of them, but never actually built one from scratch. So I'm developing procedures as we go, I guess. So best I could figure out to do is I clamp the it's like a V-type tongue, so we're gonna have this angled A-frame tongue, but had to figure out how long to make the steel was a question mark in my head. So best I could figure, I want to get to the edge of the frame, and I want to follow the angle of the hitch, and I'm in this vicinity, and that's about, well, it could be about right there, about 6'3" per side. So if I line this one up still with the angle of the tongue, yeah, about 6'3". So I guess what I'm gonna do is cut two pieces of 1x2, 6'3". They obviously won't sit that far back. I was using that for a reference. They are hopefully going to sit somewhere in here on both sides. That's what I'm hoping for, and then cross here. So it'll sit in this plane here, right? So the trailer will be sitting on top of it. All the trailers that I have, that seems to be the way they're built. And why question how everybody else builds it? Let's build it like that. I'll probably put a gusset back in this location, so it's got good weld here. I should be able to just weld four sides on this guy. That should be good enough. And then we end up with this 3-foot tongue out here. So 6'3". Only got one shot at 6'3", because that's all the steel I bought. So 6'3" times 2, 12'6". I've cut 60 inches off 240 feet or 240 inches. So I have plenty to do that with. So I guess I'll get to cutting and try to fit the tongue. There's probably just enough gas to tack it together and tack it to the trailer, and then we'll move on to some cross pieces. Tick-tock, here we go. And then we have a tongue. So I've just tack welded it. I'm totally out of shielding gas, but I've just tack welded everything so that it's hanging on by a thread. Nah, it's a little better than that. Come around this side. I was able to butt the tongue right up to the shackle and weld it to the shackle and all around. This is where I actually ran out of gas, so to clean that up a little bit. When I get gas, we'll finish welding on the back side, and I'll plate this as well. Make it real strong, and we'll be able to weld the two undersides on the other side of that, and should be good to go. So the tongue came out good. It landed right where I was hoping it would land. So we've kind of got doubled up strength frame all the way to the rear. So that's good. So I stuck some boards under here so I can start cutting cross braces, and I can just set them in here and they'll land on that board and won't fall through and hit me on a toe or something. So I got 20 feet of 1.5 by 1.5 1/8 inch square tubing, and this is a 6-foot trailer, 6 feet long. So that's going to leave me 7 spaces. Let's see. I have one here and one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. So if I have 6 pieces, this is 5 feet wide. I'm only going to get obviously 4 out of that. I have another piece. 5. Can I get 6? I was thinking of doing it on 1-foot centers. So I'll see what I got for material, and I'll mark out 1-foot centers and see if I have enough material to do that. I think so. I think I can just make it, and that's what we'll do. The machine's pretty heavy. I'm just putting 1/4 inch aluminum diamond plate for a deck. So keeping those nice tight should be good. So again, my first trailer is coming out good so far. I'm going to keep on keeping on. I've been to Harbor Freight. I picked up one of the 4 corner jacks that I need. I picked up some 14-inch abrasive cutoff wheels for my hot saw, because I'll be down to my last one here before day's over. And got a freebie, of course, while you're down there, right? And we're good to go. So my first trailer's coming together. What have I got in this thing for hours today? Probably about 5 hours or so far. If I get the rest of the steel cut, another hour or so and get that all fit. And I'll probably run home and get some of that shielding gas wire that I've got when I bought that welder so many years ago, and I'll probably end up doing the bottom side with that. But that'll be okay. That gets us done. I'll check back with you a little bit. Well, guys, I got all the cross pieces cut and fit. I'm officially out of steel, at least box tubing. Got some other stuff. Blinded by the light. But yeah, it went pretty good. I didn't screw any cuts up. They all seemed to fit well. The one thing I did do was I adjusted this one so that from the very back to center of that is 4 feet. In case I ever want to deck this in 4 by something sheets or something, then the seam will lay on that 1.5 inch. Box tubing right there. Just looking ahead a little bit. My design was to leave 6 inches or so on each side. My 4x8 sheet of aluminum will lay here, and this gives me these points to tie tie that lift down. It needs to be very, very well tied down, because it's going to go 15 feet in the air. So it's about 5 o'clock. I think I started this project around 10 o'clock. Took an hour break, middle of the day. So about 6 hours into this trailer so far. If I had not run out of gas for my welder, then I'd have all these excuse me, welded. But I'm gonna run down to Harbor Freight, because I know they sell small bottles of gas, but I don't know if there's any gas in them, if they're just selling an empty bottle. I really don't know. If they have a bottle and it's got gas in it, I might just buy one. That'll give me a spare one to always have on hand. If not, I think I have some shielding wire, and I think that's how we're going to have to finish the bottom side of the trailer. I'll make this the end of part 1, folks, and check back for part 2 when we put the finishing touches on the trailer. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing. Please share my channel with someone you think might be interested in it to help me grow this channel, please. And we'll see you on the next one.